Angels, demons, and aliens, angelic frequencies, demonic entities, ETs. You've seen them. You've seen angels. Some of you have had to deal with demonics and lower vibrational entities or attachments on other people, or maybe those entity attachments were on you. I know that I've certainly had darker entities attaching to me. And so, of your highest and your mightiest people that you admire in all the land, your singers, your dancers, your actors, your scientists, your doctors, your medicationers, your meditationers. Every person on this planet is open and susceptible to outside influence, especially if they got a big old ego, okay? So, my darlings, angels, demons, and aliens are real physical beings that I myself have interacted with in my book. Angels, Demons, and Aliens. This book right here, I wrote to share all of my experiences, not all of them, there are way too many, but also to honor you, to honor those of you out there who also have had interactions with angels, demons, and aliens. It isn't left to one or two people on the planet only to tell us about angels, demons, and aliens. It's for us to own and remember and heal from a lot of our own experiences. Now, I'm finishing up my second book in the series, Angels, Demons, and Aliens. I'm adding in a bit more of the ghost stories that have happened to me. I am what I call was born awake, meaning that I woke up in this world remembering my friggin' birth. Oh, yes. And to those of you that remember their birth, sorry, it's not fun. But we deal with it and we remember and recognize that those of us who came on this planet clairvoyant, seeing adults in church lying their butts off, demanding and dominating the audience because God said, all those bollock heads. Guys, you like me, we remember. And as a little girl, I would see through these liars and these asshats. And I'd be like, why are they lying? Why are these adults lying? Why are these teachers lying? Why are these bad people touching children in the way they should not? Well, guess what? It is the time of awakening right now. Now, in terms of this book, I'm going to give you, to those of you that follow this channel, thank you so much, by the way. Oh, and please subscribe and like, because so YouTube, I nickname it Boob Tube. It's run by boob heads and bots and controllers and pharmacology. I could never understand why every time I interview my friend Dr. Christiane Northrup, I get a strike. Um, that's because apparently, farmer, whatever they're called, I've tried to negate that so often because when you use certain words on YouTube, they clip you, they give you a strike, or they take you down, or whatever. Big Pharma, that's it. Big ass Pharma, they own YouTube apparently because they don't want anyone talking about the this at their. But anyway, let's talk about what actually matters, and it's not them. I'm giving you one more opportunity to be in this book. Okay, the next book. Okay, you got 3 weeks. Today is the 2nd or 3rd of October. 3 weeks, I'm shutting the door. Shutting the door. If you have a story, and don't think you're going to be globally famous because that's just silly, because I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I just want to share. Let's just share our stories. Share our stories and help other people. By doing that, it doesn't make us the next Mary Magdalene or the Virgin Mary, or let's just get over ourselves, please. There's too many people that have an experience that go, oh my God, look at who I am. I have made fire. Listen, we're all powerful. All of us. I don't get what is so difficult about that. We all have amazing experiences. All we have to do now at this time on our planet is look up at night, and you are going to see benevolent UFOs, spacecraft. Most of them are from the Galactic Federation. They always have their drone ships, always, every night, protecting, guiding, helping. It's us, it's you and me, it's all of us, okay? We bring them. It's not difficult. You just have to open your eyes, open your mind, drop the ego, go outside, get a pair of night vision goggles, which I got recently. And it's so amazing. So anyway, so more on that later. But for now, those of you that want to be in the book, write your chapter, do your own spell checking. If you email me a ton of information that's got spelling errors and big capital letters and screaming, and I'm just going to delete it, okay? Do the work as I'm doing the work. So I'll put your stories, those that pass, my team and I are going to read them. Those that pass and are believable, not made up, don't ever do that. Don't ever make up shit. Ever. Do not ever try and manipulate humanity. Anyone ever. Yeah? So you'll send it to the email that I'm going to put underneath the broadcast. It's Danny Spiritual Therapist at gmail.com. Dani, Dani, spiritual therapist at gmail.com. I'm shutting the door at the end of October 2025. All right, just giving you one final chance, those of you that want to be in it, to add your chapter. Happy, happy, happy. I will self-publish on Kindle, on Amazon, cheapest way to do it. Let's just share our stories out there. You're allowed to put your website, so people can connect to you if you want them to. That's at your own discretion. I take zero responsibility. If you can't write it nicely, check the spelling yourself, then it doesn't go in the book. It's very simple. I'm not doing the work for you, but I am inviting you to share your work. All right, so that's the first one. And I thoroughly recommend that book, Angels, Demons, and Aliens. Yes, I wrote it, but my God, how many people have sinned themselves and come awake and realize, my God, that happened to me when I was a child, but I was told it was my imagination. We need to be raising up in frequency, opening the memory banks, and letting go of the pain that's held us down, but also share the beautiful metaphysical beings that we are. Here's another book I recommend. My friend Hugh Newman, Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe. These are the ancient temples in Turkey. Now, there's so much academic snobbery by the archaeologists with, degrees up the jacksie. Nobody cares about your degrees if you're not being a nice person. All right? And you're condemning people like my friend Hugh Newman. How very dare you, you snotty, snobby bugger. So, Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe. Hugh Newman, Andrew Collins, JJ Ainsworth, people I know and have met. And Hugh and JJ spoke at my last Galactic conference in England in May of this year, 2025. They're doing amazing study. This book is weeny tiny, weeny, weeny, weeny tiny, and full of beautiful drawings and information on the ancient sites that the asshats, who are the controllers of the planet, are trying to cover up. So do go, Hugh Newman, JJ Ainsworth, Andrew Collins, and their books. Here's one of the most important books ever written. I bang about this all of the time. The Transformation of America. In here are all the secrets of the filthmongers in the White House and the Pentagon, some of who are still alive. Some of them by absorbing juice that does not belong to their bodies, but by much younger bodies. And those of you who know, sadly, not funny at all. I just had Kathy O'Brien, the one, the only Kathy O'Brien, the bravest friend I have. Well, I've got some very brave friends, but I want to say that in her field of revealing the mechanics of how the planet works, government, military, politicians, etc., the pedos, oh my gosh, this is the one. I was just emailing with Kathy O'Brien, who's speaking at my next conference in England, September 2026. And David Icke, David Icke, David Icke. Hold on, where's his book? Because I'm going to highlight that too. Here it is. You know this guy, David Icke? Well, these guys are friends, Kathy O'Brien and David Icke. And David Icke has written many books and also involved Kathy because he knows she's a truth teller of the greatest honor on this planet. On this planet. On this planet is Kathy O'Brien. She's so beautiful. I just came back from my beautiful conference, September. What were the dates? The 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. September 21 is a very important day. I always have my conferences on very, very important dates and in very important places that are so dark, but we bring the light. We bring the light. And Kathy was there, and one of the highlights was just me and her having 1 hour together to have a nice breakfast. Honestly, it's like sitting with an angel. You can't believe what that lady has gone through and endured, her and her little girl, Kelly. Oh, goodness me. So listen, this is a tough read. It starts out with her husband, Mark Phillips. Look at the font. I mean, you've got to really be dedicated to reading this book. But if you want to know the truth, it brings down the White House brings down the Pentagon and all the pedos that run it, the monsters, the manipulators, the deadheads, the bad people that we are smushing to the side. All right. Now, I just mentioned him, David Icke. And I'm going to tell you something about this book. I know that yesterday he had a deadline on his new book that's coming out now. Today is October the 2nd or 3rd, 2025. So my friend George Lewis, who I often bring on my channel, he's the astrologer and so much more. He's a wonderful healer. I love me some George Lewis. He recommended this book to me. I bought it, and then I started reading it because I listened to a woman who's been through absolute hell. Who hasn't? But this woman, some people are carrying bigger weights than others, okay, for different reasons. And this woman told me a story that was so terrible. I was like, oh my God, David Icke did that. And I was so like, I don't know what to do. I listened to her. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible thing. If this is true, then oh my gosh. And so I put the book down. I didn't finish it because I really believed this woman who was telling a story about someone else, but she said it was her that experienced. I'm like, did you see it firsthand? Did you see it with your own eyes? Yes, Danny, but she didn't. So I am sorry that I put the book down and I listened. But we got to be careful. There are people that will manipulate you. There are people that so want to make their point that they will, But anyway, back to David Icke. I think he's great. I can't wait to get him on my channel, and we're going to go over the beginning of his career when he was first on Terry Wogan. Those of you will remember the interviewer Irishman, who was like I guess he was the equivalent to Oprah, if you want to put him up there. Growing up in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. But anyway, I got time for this man, and a lot of you, like me, have been manipulated into thinking other things. We've been manipulated by media. It's time we own our own minds. So I will be continuing to read this book. I will be bringing David Icke on my channel, and he's speaking at the next Gsic. Woohoo! So excited. I am done listening, and do not ever make one single person in your lives the one with all the information. It is a massive error. Bring them all and introduce them to people because, we all get information in a multi-dimensional way. So like I can be told something about someone and go, okay, I got that bit, I got that bit. I don't get that bit. And then this bloke, let's say John comes over here and goes, hey, Danny, did you read that book? Did you see that? Did you watch that video? I'm like, no. And then you go and you go, oh, that makes so much sense. We were never meant to get it all in one go. There's way too much information when we're breaking down the matrix that we live in. We're breaking down the system that's been manipulated and manufactured for us within. And I'll tell you, the one place that won't help you is the negative side of religion. If you have a fear of a God, I think you're pretty much banged up in the corner. You cannot be free. If you can't break out of the fear and you're so scared, I'm going to go to hell. Aren't we in bloody hell already? Have we not already lived through hell and are seeing hell in front of us right now? Listen, boo, you do you. But all I'm saying is the genociding on my planet, your planet, our planet for all these years has opened my eyes, and I'm looking at everyone who is representing information. Now, this is a heartbreaker of a book. And then there were none. This is about the genociding of the Hawaiian, the original bloodline Hawaiian, the beautiful ancient Hawaiian cultures and people. Then there were none. So I went to live on Kauai, as some of you know, a while ago. I'd always wanted to go there. And this is the story of the beautiful native people and how the Americans came over, took over the islands of Hawaii. They had no right to, but they did it anyway. Just like, people from across the world came onto the American land, destroyed and genocided the beautiful native Indians, although they were only called Indians because Columbus bumbled along. He got lost. He bumbled. Christopher Columbus, yeah? He bumbled onto the land of America that was already established. Thank you very much for nothing, Columbus, you monghead. Bumbled into America and decides, oh, these people must be Indians because I am looking for India. You knobhead, you got it wrong. And we've had to suffer the wrongness of your information and other people's. You know, it's all a big manipulation. But you shouldn't be having a Christopher Columbus Day, and you should knock down that bloody insulting Disneyland looking ride. You know, the forefathers. And listen, if you're offended, just watch something else. I couldn't care less. Because if we don't have these direct conversations, if you can't get over your ego, if you can't get over being triggered, you got some growing up to do. And do you know why I'm saying that? Because I've had to do some growing up too. Okay, so if I can't take someone saying to me, Danny, do you know what? You need to know about this. And then me go, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Okay, we're all wrong. We all make mistakes. Let's take responsibility, each and every one of us, shall we? Otherwise, we've got no business putting information out into the field. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You screw up, you screw up. These beautiful Hawaiian people were decimated, genocided. Okay, just like our natives are indigenous of America, and then there were none. Now, I love me some Egyptian history. Okay, this is one of the best books I read on Cleopatra. Now, there's going to be people watching this that go, I was Cleopatra. No, I was Cleopatra. No, I. Mate, probably not. You probably weren't. All right. And it's all right, Poppet. Listen, you can let that trigger you. You can be, annoyed by it or whatever. Listen, but just listen to this. Do you know how many Cleopatras there were? The last 300 years of recorded history alone that we have, just the last 300 years of ancient Egypt history, the last pharaoh was a woman called Cleopatra, who was a Macedonian, Greek ancestry. When Alexander the Great took over Egypt, the Egyptians were forced to learn Greek. You know, we so retracted and distracted, and we listen to one person on YouTube and we go, oh, that's the truth then. Is it though? But is it though? But have you checked? Anyway, all I'm saying is, I really like this lady, Joyce Tietheiser. She's done quite a few. Yes, she can only go by what she's been given as documents and sacred scrolls and scholars of old, and she's probably had access. Well, I've seen documentaries on her. She's had access to, hidden information. Has she got into the Vatican where there's so much stolen and redacted? Has she got into the Smithsonian where they have hidden bones and beings and records and books and statues and paintings and artifacts from us trying to control and kill our real history? So, anyway, those of you who have an interest in Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt, Cleopatra Ptolemy. Her last name is Ptolemy, and there's a silent P for perfect in front of that word. Ptolemy, Ptoleme, however you spell it. So that's a good one. That's a really good book. I like her, I enjoy her, and I've always myself been fascinated with very strong women of history or herstory or whatever. And that would be a good one for you to have a look at. And then you can recognize that maybe you weren't Cleopatra Ptolemy. Maybe there's aspects of her. Maybe you were around at that time, but maybe you're not her. You know what I mean? We've got to get over this. Everyone in their past lives on the planet right now, we've all had past lives. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. But there's elements where some people go, oh my God, it was me. I was the Queen of Sheba. I want to go, oh, darling, sit down, have a cup of tea, one or two sugars, babes. Because I just can't believe, why do we all have to be the scientists of Atlantis? The scientists of Atlantis that took care of all the crystals. And we all know Atlantis, the time of Atlantis. You know, it was a massive, massive, massive thousands and thousands of miles across the planet. Apparently, the center of Atlantis was called Atlar. And on the outside of that, there were people doing extremely terrible experiments. But that never changed. It never changed. It's happening today. It's happening with your governments, with your militaries. Nothing's changed. But at this time in 2025, we, the people of our earth, we're taking it back and we are changing it. We are changing it. So, lots of books on Atlantis, lots of history, and some terrible things were done by dreadful, terrible people in Atlantis. That is the truth. Yes, it is indeed. Now, also Lemuria, those of you who are connected to Lemuria, I am definitely more connected to the time of Lemuria. That is the time before Atlantis. And again, there's some people out there that have written books recently. I'm very suspicious, especially because they're on YouTube or they're social climbers. So be careful. The books you choose to read on Atlantis and Lemuria that have just been written because there's some bad manipulation going on. But there is anyway. You know what I mean? So I will not recommend a recent book. I don't care who you are, because since 2020, with this desperation for people to be famous and known, I'm like, ooh, take a step back, take a step back. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, this book was written in the 70s. To my point, love this guy. I think he's passed away. I was trying to get hold of him, and at last I could see that he'd actually passed. Dugan Gsic. He's a Dutch, beautiful man. I've spoken about this book so many times. This book, the information I have on the beginning of the Haitian people and voodoo came out of this book. So this man would travel the world and live with tribes. Absolutely incredible. Voodoo, shamanism, psychic healing. Here he is talking about the Tuareg people. God, this book is so stained. Honestly, I had it all through my travels and living in Costa Rica. I will not give this book up. I just will not. Some I had to toss out because everything gets moldy in Costa Rica when you're living in the jungle. The Tuareg, um, oh my gosh, these people, they were called the Blue Men of the Sahara. And it was like all of a sudden, this tribe of people are found in the Sahara Desert with blue eyes, and they would dye cloth blue, and it would just deflect the sun from burning them, or something to do with physics and chemistry that I'm not attuned to, but basic memory of the last time I read this book. But this book is just incredible. It talks about witches and werewolves and zombies, and how the slaves like bought from like the Benin, Benin, those people that were genocided from Africa into Haiti, and others that then they bought their sacred prayers and metaphysical acknowledgments, and that also became wrapped up into what is now known as voodoo. And there is black voodoo and white voodoo and others in between. But again, find the scholars of old who didn't give a shit about being famous, who don't want to be, the greatest galactic informer or spiritual or angel connector or historian or ancient Cleopatra or King Arthur and Guinevere. God, I'm so bored of those people. Bye bye there, yawn. We got to make our own minds up. We got to read the books I would recommend from the past before everybody was obsessed with being famous. This is one of the most important books I ever read. And also, I didn't realize that Haiti, the island of Haiti, which has been trafficked, those people have been so abused. You want to shine a light and you want to send healing to a land right now when there's so much blood on the land everywhere on our world? Send your love to Haiti. Send your love to the beautiful beloveds in Haiti. Send your love to those people who are being generationally deprogrammed, traumatized, hurt, harmed by dog ends in the American government. Yeah? Yeah? Haiti is on a landmass. And do you know that on that landmass also lives the Dominican Republic? Did you know that the island of Haiti is half Haiti and half Dominican Republic? I did not know that. I did not know that until the last few years. Wow. Wow. That's why we got to get out, man. Get globetrotting, get exploring, read books, do research, think, read more than one person, listen to more than one person. Don't just listen to one single person for every single piece of information in case they're wrong, in case they got something wrong. Bring it all in, multi-dimensional levels of learning and absorbing. That's what I do, and that's what I've done. Okay, this guy, medical medium. Those of you that know that we can heal ourselves, our bodies, our minds, and that Western medicine is there for a reason, okay? And so is holistic medicine. This is kind of a combination of two, what I'm saying, but not what's in this book. This book is definitely mostly about the right foods to eat, about the way that you can put herbs together to help the body, the ancient herbs, the land. This guy is really interesting. I do refer to this book. There's a lot of case studies in here, people who've had things wrong with them. This is where BoobTube listens and picks up words and then tries to give you a strike. So I'm just going to leave this there because there could be something really useful. And I've had this book, God, I don't know when it first came out. I don't even remember. I think I was living in California at that time. Okay, now here's another book. Okay. This is a massive tome of work. Now, some people, the minute you mention Manly P. Hall, or you mention the Knights Templars, or you mention the Masonics, they switch off. They're like, oh God, because they're programmed. They're programmed to shut down. They've got a switch that says shut down. Do not open your mind. Do not listen. Now, we know, most of us that pay attention, there's more than 33 degrees in the Freemasons. We also know there are millions of beautiful people, men and women, connected to the Masons that are doing good, that are doing great, that aren't pedophiles, they're not satanics, they're not blood cult people. But we also know that the Freemasons, on many levels, senior levels, 33 degrees and above, are infiltrated. So I don't ever put the Freemasons into one bucket. How pathetic, how ridiculous. But the dogs of war that did infiltrate the Freemasons, they're not getting away. They're not getting away with their heinous crimes against my brothers and my sisters. That's you lot. Now, there are lectures online, Manly P. Hall. There's things said to him, said things against him. I never met the bloke, and neither did you. But my mind is open because some of the information here is so interesting. Some of the ancient, some images you can't even get anymore. You can't get them today. Have you noticed how the internet is scrubbing and cleaning and redacting and taking information that you're supposed to have? You were supposed to have this information. It was taken from you. It's been corrupted. Yeah. So have an open mind. It's funny. I remember doing one of these where I do like a book club thing, like some of my books I share with you because people say, "What are you reading? How do you know?" I'm like, "Let me just help you. Let me just share." And I'll be doing a lot more one-to-one because people keep telling me I just always put people in front, always promoting them, bigging them up because I love them all. I love them all. We all deserve a chance, but I'm definitely going back to more Dani to camera. And I'm sorry, guys. I definitely will never again just give myself 25 minutes at my own conference to speak. That's an error. But do you know what? I so want disclosure for us. I so want us all to know the truth. And so I do my very best to bring that, And I'm not right about everything, but neither are you. But at least I'm having a go. And maybe you are too. So let's all stop bloody fighting. But you know what? The egos, at the door, mate. At the door. So anyway, Manly P. Hall. The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Again, it is a big read. I have never read the whole thing, but what I do is I dip in and out of it. Do you remember years ago we used to get these drawings in like Britannica Encyclopedia that was also corrupted? Oh my God, you have no idea. This goes back, the corruption of humanity goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. These asshats from 15th century and before, the controllers, always recognizing, always knowing, how many stories we've been told that are lies and they're bullshit and they're just bigged up. And then all we do is repeat them, but we don't know not to repeat because we can only go by what we were taught and we're groomed in school. Our parents are groomed, grandparents, great grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, teachers, doctors, everybody. So we're born into a pre programmed matrix of information that wants to keep us in a room, in a box. Balls to that box. And that's why I'm saying don't get triggered. If you've heard negative things about Manly P. Hall, which I have, and then good things about him, and I studied him when I was doing my metaphysical course with my mentor, Dr. Chris Lemon, two S's, two M's, Dr. Chris Lemon. And we went into the energy frequency of Manly P. Hall. And again, information here from everybody. Everybody's voice deserves. Now, this is also a very important book. There's so many books by Elena Danan who has brought so much information to the planet. And that's Thorhan, and I've seen him physically in real life, which I think is kind of important. I've seen him, I've seen others that Elena Danam reports on, which I think is important. Otherwise, she could be one voice talking about ETs and how can she prove it? But I've seen them. So that's why I'm saying this woman, an amazing voice on galactic information because I've seen them too. That's all I need, boo. I don't need your judgment out there. Those of you that go, ha 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 ha. Just move along. Sit down. Go and have a cookie and a cup of tea. Two sugars, off you pop, love. No one's got time for you and your negativity. Now, I've read, I think, most of her books, but honestly, this one I think is one of the most important because it also covers her journey as a little girl, horrific abuse by grey ETs, which a lot of you have had, grey ETs. And then, of course, it goes into how she was rescued and the negative ETs. And she's got so much information on just so much information. And this is one of the first books where she drew a lot of the ETs, that some negative, some positive. It was one of the beginnings of her work. I think it was her first book. So I really do recommend it. It's so good. It's so uplifting those that truly want to know about the galactic information. Now, of course, the galactic information, it's not the most important in the world because we're living on the planet now. We're surviving this matrix now, you know, but the ETs are here. They're here all the time. Again, like I said, you don't need a conference. You don't need a single person other than you to go outside, lay down, wrap up, relax, and keep your eyes on the skies. And look how many craft you're going to see going back and forth and coming across and then phasing up blue and phasing down and moving on because it sensed you. You know, we are a star-faring nation. We always have been. For hundreds of years, we've been going to space. Just because NASA lied to you doesn't mean it's not true. Again, we need to recognize the authorities on our planet. A lot of them are full of bollocks and control, and I no longer respect a single one. Move along there, Poppet. Bored with you and your lies. Now, back down to earth. The horse girl. This is not about a girl that just loves horses. This is my friend Beverly Rhodes. Now, I brought Beverly Rhodes onto my planet. I don't know why I say that sometimes. I've done that before. Onto my platform, onto my channel. Maybe it is my little planet. The horse girl. This is a horrendous account of a little girl with a pedo. I think it was her sister adopted her, and her sister's husband helped himself and passed her around his friends at the local Masonic lodge. Like I said, they're not all filthy pedos. It's ridiculous to put everybody in the same boat, right? But this is what happened to Beverly. I've had her on my channel so many times and will continue to. I love Beverly Rhodes. I also introduced Beverly Rhodes to my friend, Chantel Mayberg. We call her Shanti. Her channel is Aquaria Africa Rising. Africa Aquarius Rising. Aquarius Africa Rising. I don't know why that is always an issue for me, but if you've got dyslexia like I do, I hate to admit that, or I dislike admitting that, but my brilliant brain had to has to fizzle out somewhere. So some words, some numbers, some things, I get what I call brain freeze, and I can't put the pattern or the word and then I can't talk, and then my voice. And so, those of you that recognize what's happening here with me, trying to remember the name, and then you go into panic, and it's all right. Just talk yourself out of it like I am, because I rock. And so do you. And it's okay, whatever label we've been given or give ourselves, who cares? We compensate in other areas, where I might be a complete dimwit to some people, and I can't even figure out sometimes, I can't even pull up Google Docs. I can't remember how to get into my own company Google documents because the information has just blanked. It's blanked. That's what happens sometimes. That's why, if you want to be successful in this world, surround yourself with genius. And not just genius teammates and business mates, but friends. beautiful, good friends who lift you, who support you, who compliment you, and that you do the same for them. To Beverly Rhodes, the horse girl, it is an eye-opening journey into another little girl who has brought so much. As she ended up in South Africa, she has learned so much. She's brought information there on the governments and the systems, and she's very, very important. And she's my friend. I have so many great friends. I really, really do. Okay, now my friend JP, now I'm a little bit pissed at Salah lately, because, he's been arguing publicly against Elena Danan and it's caused all kinds of confusion. It's caused pain. It's caused trauma because we got egos in the mix. Like, can everyone just get over their ego, please? But anyway, JP, recommend his stories. Hopefully he's writing his own book now, so you can get it straight from him. But not to detract, because JP works for the American military, still does, although he's a retired veteran now. And he came out, he unmasked at my event. But his information is so important. How he goes on missions with the American Army. Now, please, can other military personnel step forward? I will take care of you. I will interview you. I will help you with your story. Okay? So we all have a voice. And even those who've wronged us, even those that go against us sometimes, it's like, do you know what? Sort your shit out, sit down, grow up, because the information is what matters. Okay? That's what counts. So that's why I'm holding up this book. Again, like I said, I've got the arse with Salah right now. It'll move on. Hopefully, he'll make a public apology. In my opinion, he certainly should. It upset people. It divided people. Like, get over yourselves. Who the hell is any one person to split information in a community? Let's grow up, guys. Jesus. Okay, here's one of the most mature men I ever met. My friend Tony Rodriguez. Military, American military, kidnapped him, put him into and sold him into satanic. Oh, it's awful. Listen, my mum's a hardcore mare, right? That woman, she's hardcore. It's part of why I'm so bombastic, because she was very hard on me growing up. And that's given me a backbone and a strength, okay? But my mum, and my mum's a weirdo as well, because when I was a kid, she'd go and watch horror films on her own. I always found that rather peculiar. Anyway, she's just not scared of anything, my mum. She's not. I gave her this book and she couldn't finish it. She couldn't get through it. In the end, she did. But I'm like, wow, if it affected somebody as hardcore as my mum, I better give her a warning. But I'm telling you that when you read about this beautiful man, Tony Rodriguez, and he speaks at all my Gsic conferences, Galactic Spiritual Informers, his journey being abducted by ETs, yes, aliens, yes, indeedy doody. The space programs, the secret space programs that he was put into. He went to a place called Ceres. Yeah, he talks about it. Oh my gosh. Wow. This book is devastating. There's one particular story in here where Tony basically gave his life on a UFO. A UFO is so pathetic. Unidentified object. No, it was identified. It was a former submarine that the military turned into a spacecraft, because it's not hard to do that. Go figure. Go figure. And Tony worked on this spacecraft for 12 years. Something happened. He was in an accident and pretty much was burnt to death and then given a cloned body. And I want to say to the person who's probably alive, the military person that abused Tony the night after he got his new body, I hope that you are found. And I hope that you are named, and I hope that you are humiliated. And that is all I will say. And those of you that read this book, you will know, because that to me was one of the most disturbing parts of the whole book. Again, some of the books I'm showing you are written by my friends, my actual real life friends. And I think, and I believe, and I know some of the most important information, the missing gaps about on-planet mechanics, military government, for example, science, education, music, acting, to galactics, the ETs, and it do exist. And if you don't believe in them, well, I don't know what to tell you. And I don't care. Then don't believe it then. Just watch something else. I don't care. I'm here to tell the truth, pass the truth, and you, my darlings, will make of it whatever you choose. Tony Rodriguez, one of the single most important voices on the entire planet. I love you, Tony Rodriguez. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This man impacted my life in ways I have no words for. So, my friend Laura Plum, we went to meet these nuns years ago. Oh, God, it must be 20 friggin' years ago now. And we went to meet these nuns who'd come out of cloisters and they were doing biofeedback stuff. So, she made an appointment. So, after the appointment, I was invited into the main room. And I've never seen so many ascended masters and Archangel Michael and Gandhi and Mother Teresa. Don't even talk to me about Mother Teresa and all the things you hear. And I'm like, oh my God, wow, all these pictures on the wall. Wow, wow, wow. And then I looked at this image. And it wasn't quite this image, it was a black and white picture. And I looked and a light came out and boom, banged me in the heart. I'm like, and I said, oh my God, who's that woman? And they were like, that's not a woman, that's Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda. Oh, I feel emotional talking about him. And I was so impacted, but that happens on our journey, on our walk in this life, on our spiritual journey, on our everyday human journey. Sometimes something happens unexplainable, unexplainable. And you go, oh, holy God. And it was him. Well, then I went into the journey of reading this. It is absolutely amazing. The book of this young man, his name was Makunda. For years, I used to think I was going to write the script, write the script, because I do written scripts and TV and whatever, blah blah blah, metaphysical, mostly and true spiritual experiences. And I thought that that might be something I would offer the planet. But I think my conferences are more where I'm supposed to be. But Yogananda, oh my God, the journey as a little boy and then going into the ashrams and studying Hinduism and seeing people around him that created everyday miracles like bringing a dead flower back to life or emitting the smell, the scent of any flower through the palm, or the man who could tame the Bengal lions, or there were so many people around him growing up that to us, we've been reprogrammed to think they're legendary, they're ultra human. No, they're regular humans. They practice their craft. They practice their skills. And they were able to impress. And it was, they were everyday swamis, swami being holy person. Oh, I couldn't recommend this book highly enough. I love it. It's beautiful, as part of a journey. Now, if the spiritual aspect or the looking at another religion because you're programmed for Christianity or as a Catholic or, whatever was gifted or inflicted or introduced to you or not, if you really want to break open more modern day understanding, I recommend this book, Dan Brown, The Lost Symbol. Someone told me, who was it the other day? Somebody fabulous was telling me, who was it? That it was Dan Brown's wife that did a lot of the research. I don't know. I didn't know. I've never heard that before, but hey, good on her. This is such a good book. It basically is the breakdown of, let me read this to you. Because if you want to crack in, and it's a big, thick book, so you can't be a lazy ass about it. Oh, good God, look, there's so many turned down pages here as well. Okay, what was lost will be found. Okay, listen to this. The Capitol building, Washington, D.C. Harvard symbologist Robert Landon believes he's here to give a lecture. He's wrong. Within minutes of his arrival, a shocking object is discovered. It's a gruesome invitation into an ancient world, the hidden hand. I mean, blah, 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 blah. When his mentor is kidnapped, the only hope is to accept this mysterious summons. It takes him on a breathless chase through Washington's dark history. All that was familiar has changed into a shadow mythical world in which Masonic secrets and never seen before revelation lead him to a single impossible and inconceivable truth. It is so good. This book is so good. Now, I remember thinking to myself, if Hollywood had the guts to turn that book into a movie, it would literally change the world because you're given insight into Rome, which is the religious center on the planet, London, which is the financial center on the planet. Washington, D.C., which is the military faction on the planet. And then you look at these sacred geometry, how these cities are constructed, how they use ancient symbology, Egyptian obelisks. In London, they call it the monument, but they're Egyptian obelisks. They're everywhere. Why are they using red granite? Why is red granite used in churches? What was on the land that the churches were built upon? The original ley lines crossing the most powerful point of any town and any village where the ancient people, call them druids, I don't care, call them pagans, I don't care. It was probably us. Most of us have come back from these times to put right what was put wrong. This is my planet. This is your planet. This is our planet. So those of you that can't be dealing with all the religious bollocks, go ahead and read The Lost Symbol. I have one final book here. I remember when I was in Costa Rica years ago when I lived there. In the last like 5 years I lived there. In the jungle by myself in a house that I bought on top of a mountain. Alone, go away world, I hate you. I'm devastated. My beautiful husband to be just had died and I was a mess. And my God, what came out of my despair is pretty much what you see sitting in front of you. A bombastic, gobby bird that fucking loves humanity. Happy to share myself, my books, my information, my knowledge, the people that come on my channel. And the last time I showed this book, this guy went, "You had me till you mentioned the Knights Templars. Now I'm out of here." I'm like, bye. Bye, boo. Cup of tea, 2 sugars. And maybe a chocolate digestive. The Knights Templars. A lot of our history has been written, rewritten, lied on. Apparently, these buggers began and created the original banking system. Apparently, they were a bunch of happy monks who were helping people not get slain in Jerusalem and helping them cross across continents safely. There's so many stories written, and any scholars out there that have studied the Knights Templars, okay, well done, thank you. But also, I'm allowed to say what I think, which I clearly am and do and will never stop, because it's my right, as it's your right, guys. You know, you can sit and you can say whatever you want. We're allowed to talk, and talk we shall, and deliver we shall. Now, you see my beautiful angels behind me? Look at my beautiful little cherubs. I believe in the angels. I believe in Creator. I believe in love. I believe in light. And I believe in giving the old person the old smack here, even if it's verbally, because it's our world and we get to do and imagine and create and own and learn, what it is we're here to learn. Now, a lot of people talk about, oh, we're here and it's all karma. I think that's bollocks, but that's just me. I didn't come back here to learn every lesson. Oh, you're being punished. No, there are guides. There are interfering beings that pretend to be your glorious guides. Well, hi there, I'm your guide. I'm going to help you with your life. And then they proceed to screw everything up. They block it, they wreck it, they break up the relationship, they get in between the kids, they do this, they do that. Because some of us, again, are lost in our huge egos, which, if you can't just confess to yourself at times, you got a big ego. I've had a fucking massive ego in my time. Now I'm like, oh, I'm pushing through, I am stamping through. And still, if and when I am wrong, I will own it. I will publicly apologize if I have to. I am not too big to do that. Never will I be too big to do that. And quite frankly, putting yourself online, which I do, I better be ready to be wrong and be held accountable. Because if my voice and the books I've shown you, if they influence you in some way, in a positive way, then you got to be careful where you're getting your information. So I better be damn sure I'm right. So I want to welcome you all. And most of you won't do it. Most of you that hear this next part, I guarantee you will not do it. You will be so worried about, oh, what if I can't get that guide back? That's ego, okay? You need to imagine all of these so-called guides all around you, line them all up one by one. Go into, just breathe one time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Go inside. Imagine all your guides that you perceive to be around you are lining up in front of you. Fire them all. Yeah, Fire them. Oh, but I couldn't. Oh, but my guide is Baba G. My guide is Jesus. My guide is Archangel Michael. My guide. Are you sure? Because if you're not moving on in your world, if things aren't getting better for you, if you're not healing, if things aren't getting lighter, it's because you have an interference, a restriction, something energetically messing in your space. Please, I also learned this too. I learned the hard way, okay? So let me help you along, okay? I fired them all. I fired every single guide, and I was hearing all the chatter, all the chatter. Oh no, not me. Please, not me. Please, not me. And I'm like, if you are for my highest, greatest good and my protection, and for me to learn and understand the workings of my planet, your planet, our planet, then I'm going to let go of everything that claims to be around me so I can raise my frequency. And then where I am, my guidance will be. And that's what I did, and that's what I invite you to do. Because if you truly have benevolent, beloved guides around you, whether they're angels, whether they're beautiful, benevolent ETs, whether it's your loved ones, whether it's people from the past, like Yogananda, for example, if they truly are here for your highest good, for the love and the protection of you, they're not going to care if you fire them. Because what you're doing is you're recorrecting and organizing your tree of life, your everything, your kundalini, your pineal, your connection to source, of which we all have. And there shouldn't be a single in between or a go between. You got me? So let the ego go, fire them all, and then just breathe and just settle into your own frequency. And one by one, or not, you'll feel some settle in to your field, and some will be invited to move along there. Move along there, little imp. Move along there, little human spirit that doesn't want to go to the light but is trying to make you drink or smoke or do drugs or overeat or oversex or attack and gossip. Oof. It's okay. It's okay. We're allowed to do that. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's been a while. I apologize to those of you that keep asking me, Danny, we want more of you to camera. I promise you, I'm stepping up, guys. I'm going to be here for you more and more. I'm going to be obviously interviewing the most incredible people I can imagine on our planet, but I promise to do more of this, more one-to-one with you. And again, final offer, those of you that want to be in the next Angels, Demons, and Aliens and Ghosts, we're adding more ghost stories in. You write to Dani, D-A-N-I, Dani, spiritual therapist at gmail.com. I will not be chasing. You give me a perfectly written, spell checked chapter. If it's just a paragraph, no, that's not a story. We want people to enjoy the chapter. So don't overwrite and don't exaggerate and don't lie. We don't need to do that. But just think about three, beginning, middle, end, even if it's like a full page, that's okay. But do the work, do the research. I had so many people like, Danny, a big capital. I'm like, I'm not playing, guys. I'm not your editor. I'm inviting you to be in a book with me to share our information to our brothers and our sisters. All right? All right, my darlings. I will see you soon with some fabulous, fabulous guests. And I will also bring in I've got to show you this. I just think this is so funny. Hold on a second. Okay, so I bought this in Glastonbury with Nikki Allen. Nikki Allen, the great psychic comedian, my friend. Look at this. It's bigger than me. Look at the size of it. It's huge. It's so big. But I was in Glastonbury when I was speaking there. Oh my God, I was speaking at the symposium this year. And we went in this store and I was filming because there was all these lovely crystals and things. So he says, stop filming, please. So I wasn't filming anyone. I was just filming the crystals. Anyway, I spotted this beautiful Buddha. And then Nikki did at the same time. So I bought her one for her birthday. I just love them. But anyway, I was going to say that if you want me to go into crystals that help support or any other information that you've known from my past that I can aid you and speak to you on. If you want more of the paranormal stories and experiences, I'm a very long tenured, unfortunately, experiencer in demonics and protection and things like that, things of that nature. So you are welcome to ask me to deliver more information on those things as well. But in the meantime, please remember that you are amazing. Please do not put yourself down. Please do not look in that mirror and put your beautiful self down. You know, haven't enough people done that for you? You know what I mean? That little girl inside of you or that little boy inside of you hears everything you tell them. So don't be unkind to yourself or to that inner child. Be kind, be loving. Yeah, how about you tell them what they are good at? How about that? How about that? All right. Mwah. Lots of love from my heart to your heart. I am Dani Henderson, and I bloody love you, humanity. And I'ma see your ass soon. God bless. Angels bless, the gods bless. Mwah.